Hey guys, it's Hannah. Crazy to see you again. This is the third week in a row that I'm posting a YouTube video, which is more consistency than I've seen out of me in years. That just kind of means we're on a roll, I guess, so I'm just gonna throw it out there in the beginning. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications so I can surprise you next week with a video. Maybe, no promises, maybe. Today we're gonna do a Q&A because I haven't done one of those in so long, like probably a year and a half. Maybe, I don't know, my concept of time is just is out of here. In my last video, I asked you guys to ask me questions. I also just threw something up on my Instagram story, so if we get anything there, we'll include those too. I did say in my last video that if I answer your question in this video, I will Venmo you 25 cents. So if I answered your question, comment your Venmo or like DM me or something and I'll give you money. Before we begin, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. I did not prepare for this video at all, so I'm gonna be live scrolling and picking. Do you have any note-taking tips for college, especially for humanities or discussion-based classes? Well, I avoid humanities and discussion-based classes at all costs because I am a unenthusiastic reader. But on the topic of note-taking, this term I switched from handwritten notes to using an iPad and GoodNotes for everything from annotating PDFs to practice problems to exams to note-taking in class, and I love it. It just makes everything so much easier. I used to get so stressed out about doing timed exams and having to submit them at the last second because it would take me several minutes to scan the document, send it to my computer to upload to Canvas, and it was so stressful in the moment. But now it takes me literally 6 seconds to upload something to Canvas right from GoodNotes, and my life is just infinitely better. I don't know if you've answered this before, but how did you and your boyfriend meet? That is a really cute question, and I don't think I've ever answered this before on camera, but in the spirit of Valentine's Day, I will answer it now. So we were a relationship that was largely formed by proximity. He lived in my building my freshman year. In fact, he lived right on the floor above me, I think literally basically in the room above me, adjacent to my best friend. So I was just kind of up there hanging out with her all the time. She had this really big single, so it was kind of this place to be, and he would come in sometimes, or I'd just see him in the hallway. And so over a few weeks, a few months into freshman fall, we became friends, and then literally this is how it happened. I was totally buddies with him, and then one day he gave me a piggyback ride on the way back from a hockey game, and I remember the specific moment, the specific location. Feelings just kind of hit me, and I was super overwhelmed and confused because I don't feel those things easily, but those feelings just hit me. He wasn't picking up on hints, so I told him how I felt about him, and he was also into me, and that was the start of it. I should note that it might not have been the piggyback ride. That same day he had gotten a haircut, a different haircut for the first time in his life, and it looked really good. And he to this day thinks that's the only reason that I started liking him. As the parent of a soon-to-be college student, I'm curious, have you ever spoken with anyone who's rushed at big state universities? And if so, how did their sorority recruitment experience compare to yours? That is a really great question. A lot of people from my high school ended up going to big state schools, particularly down south, and I remember watching and kind of hearing from some of them about their recruitment process, and theirs was so intense. Senior year of high school, as soon as they got into the school, we're talking winter, they were already preparing letters of recommendation and preparing their profile and doing all this stuff. They had to go to school a month early and do weeks of training and rush, and there were so many rules and dozens of houses, and I imagine it was absolutely exhausting, the physical toll. Mad respect to those girls. Would you have felt like an outcast without Rush? I don't think so. I was unaffiliated for a year and a half while all of my other peers were in houses, and I never felt like an outcast. I just felt like I was always missing out on something, but not like an outcast. I never felt like I didn't belong because of it. What is your nationality? I am American. I live here, have my whole life. In terms of my background, I am primarily Trini, Italian, and German. It's a lot of things. My parents made me take a DNA test when I was in high school, and the highest percentage of anything for me was Italian, and it was 28%. So I'm very, very much scattered, which makes it kind of hard to identify with any particular group. But we can talk about the challenges of being multiracial another day. As a freshman not taking any AP classes yet, what is the class you would recommend the most, and what class would you absolutely not recommend? So as for what I would recommend the most, if you're going into the sciences in college or have even the slightest interest of doing that, I would recommend AP Chemistry or AP Biology. Probably Chem over Bio in particular, because I think it's accepted as credit as most schools. I took Chem my senior year of high school. I got a 5 out of it, and because of that, I've never had to take a chemistry class at college, and I will never have to, which is honestly like my saving grace because our chemistry department sucks. And as for what class I would not recommend, so I can handle the humanities, like I can do it, I can make it through. I'm just like, it's not super fun for me. The AP class I enjoyed the least was AP European History. It was just so dense and like so much reading, and it wasn't something I was like super interested in, so it was just hard to get through. Are you glad you went to Dartmouth? Is there anything that if you'd known it while applying to Dartmouth would have made you never apply or go? I am happy that I chose Dartmouth. So many people that I've met here I know will be a part of my life forever. Dartmouth has given me opportunities that most other schools couldn't have. That being said, it would have been really interesting if I was able to consider like the pandemic when I was choosing schools, because in my opinion, our administration isn't fantastic when it comes to making decisions, and even more so communicating them. I know they have good intentions and they're trying to do their job, which is mostly make sure Dartmouth has a good reputation and has a lot of money. It's felt like they don't care about the students as much as they should, or you would maybe expect them to, for being such an undergraduate focused institution. Also, sorry my hair is kind of a mess. I've been doing TikTok dances all day. You should follow me on Instagram and maybe you'll be lucky enough to see one. How did your experience at MIT differ from your experience at Dartmouth? That is a really interesting question. I can't speak to it too much. When I was at MIT, I was commuting for like a research position. I wasn't there as a student. You know, I took some classes during IAP, but a completely different vibe. So I really can't do a full comparison. As for atmosphere, I definitely prefer Dartmouth's undergraduate focused, community oriented, collaborative atmosphere over MIT's more competitive, graduate heavy, kind of stressful atmosphere. I know they're big, work hard, party harder people over there, and I had a fantastic experience doing research at MIT. I learned so much, more than I could have ever imagined, but being in that environment for a few months definitely made me glad that my dream school shifted from MIT to Dartmouth my junior year of high school. How is engineering at Dartmouth? I think it's really unique. We don't like take your standard like courses. Like we don't have a class called statics or anything like that. We have systems and like distributed systems and fields. It's very much focused on breadth instead of depth, and most of Dartmouth is. But I honestly think that's pretty fair. I think for most careers out of college, you know, at least based on my research and people I've talked to, it matters more your ability to learn than what you already know. That being said, God, it's hard to graduate on time and do literally anything else besides engineering if you want to get the actual engineering degree on time. Number two, it's really hard sometimes because like every professor writes their own textbook, so you can't like Google study guides or anything like that. Like it's all on you. And three, it hasn't been super hands-on for me. I've taken a lot of lab classes in the engineering department, but I haven't done a single one in person, but that's just mostly because I started my engineering courses during COVID, so couldn't really do that. But definitely overall, once you make it through the prereqs and like the first few core courses in the engineering curriculum, it's so worth it and it gets so much better. I really like Dartmouth, but not sure if I want to ED. Any tips? My go-to advice, and I've said this 1,000 times on this channel, but I'll say it again, only ED to a school if you truly think that you would choose it over every other school that you would theoretically get into. That's what I did, and it worked out for me. I think it allows you to put a lot of passion into your essays because you've kind of made up your mind at that point. Like this is where you want to be. And it also gives you that sense of security, like knowing you won't have any regrets if it does work out, because it's really exciting if it does. Do you think you still would have rushed if you didn't go to Dartmouth? Probably not, to be honest, but that's another universe, man. Okay, that's it for this video. That was a really fun Q&A. We should do these more often. I had so much fun. Did you have fun? I might do another one of these soon, or maybe I'll do like one on a specific subject or specific area of focus. I always appreciate video requests because I've been doing this for a lot of years, you know, sometimes there's just nothing in there. Hey guys, editing Hannah here to say that I ended up getting a lot more questions after I finished filming this video, and a lot of them are super good and I want to talk about them, so I'm probably gonna do another Q&A in like a week or two. Just letting you know. Turn those bell notifications on so that you get informed whenever I post a new video. So fun. Thank you for your support. Speaking of support, thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is so awesome. Skillshare is a platform for creative and curious people, featuring thousands of classes in everything from animation to UX to design to photography to marketing, anything you can imagine. It's 2021. Now is the time to do that thing you've always wanted to do, and Skillshare wants to help you explore. Skillshare is less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. This week, I'm recommending Plants at Home, Uplift Your Spirit and Your Space by Christopher Griffin. Plants are so fun and a beautiful way to keep your home alive during the winter. If you want to learn more, the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in my description will get a free trial of a premium Skillshare membership so you can explore your creativity. I let my sister take care of my plant over the break and she killed it, and I'm slowly trying to revive it. It's kind of working. This wasn't here last week, so I'm taking that as a good sign. That is it for this video. I'll see you guys next week, maybe at some point in the future. Okay, bye. I'm Hannah.